Okay.
Hey Jess,
Hi, Michael.
thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thanks for being here and thanks for giving us your point of view as a caregiver.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody that doesn't know you?
Well, I'm your husband. My name's Michael. We've been married. Will be 4 years here. This coming up December. Yeah, we've known each other since high school. Uh, Reconnected after graduating, and the rest is history. We've been, dating and then got married. It's been like 10 years since we rekindled everything, but it's been a really nice journey so far, and lots of bumps along the road, but we're we're doing the best with what we've got. So,
Thanks, babe. That's such a good introduction for yourself. What about you? What do you like to do for fun?
um, I'm a big sports guy, so I love to golf. Um, I'm working out a lot. I like to sweat and keep myself busy in that way. That's my meditation and my me time. So it's good for me to always set aside a little bit of time to do that. Keep my health, my mental health in a good place. That's how I achieve that. So even before the TN, it was very important to both of us to keep our mental health in a good spot. And the way I do that is exercise and sports and being able to zone out the rest of life and just kind of, you know, take a couple hours to yourself and not worry about what's going on in the world and just worry about what you've got going on right in front of you.
I love that so much. And you said it best that we both have focused on self-care even before TN, and you helped me to get into running and find that zen, that zone out that you're talking about.
Yeah,
Um,
they don't call it the runner's high for nothing.
you're right. Sorry I cut you off. Um, how did you feel when I got the diagnosis of TN? Had you heard of TN before?
No, no. Again, this is uncharted waters for me. I had no idea what to expect. I think Jessica and I both, once we met with the doctor, we got in the car and we're just Googling it, which sometimes isn't the greatest way of going about it, but we're just trying to gather all the info we can about what's going on, what we can expect, and the initial thought when we're sitting there in the parking garage, we've known for 10 or 15 minutes at UTN, we're going, reading online, and we're going, oh, this is the real deal. This isn't good. And part of the, again, most of you have probably no idea about Jessica's journey to finding an actual diagnosis of TN, but it was years that we struggled with what was TN, but we had no idea that it was TN. And part of me was relieved to finally have an answer for Jessica that, hey, we know what it is. We can put our arms around it the best we can, but, hey, it's not going to be easy. This thing is really, really tough, and it's going to take everything that we have to, maintain our marriage, maintain our friendship, and maintain, our jobs and everything that's going on in our lives. But it's scary, but at the same time, it was like a relief. Like Jessica finally got an answer. Somebody was able to give her an answer and at least, tell her what this is that's battling her every day.
I think you put that perfectly. For those who don't know, I was diagnosed 4 years ago, and as Michael said, we got married 4 years ago. So that was all part of the process too. What's been the hardest, or what's been the biggest life change for you?
Um, you put it best weeks ago, maybe years ago now. Time is really kind of blending together now that we've have our new life and everything, but accepting the fact that, and you know, the bluntest terms possible, because there isn't really any way to sugarcoat this, the death of old Jessica, and reliving and trying to understand and accept the fact that, you know, past things we've done have to stay there, and we're living a new life from here forward, and understanding that we can keep trying to do the same things that we were doing, but it's going to be frustrating, and it's going to end in tears and heartache and frustration with ourselves, because we haven't accepted the fact that this is a new life, this is a new way, and that some doors have closed, but a lot have opened, and we can still get through most situations. It's just going to take a little bit of a different approach that we weren't taking before, that maybe we took for granted, but a lot of people do, that don't have to struggle with something like this going on in their everyday life. You know, I know that's a really long-winded answer, but you know, it's not an easy answer to give.
No, it's not. Can you kind of touch on how we got to this road? Because like you said, we've had to change everything that we do, and it's been a hard process to accept. So kind of start from how did you figure out how to support me?
It's just trial and error. Unfortunately, that's the, you know, TN is going to give you false pretenses that, hey, you can get in this sort of routine. And don't get me wrong, there are routines that can be had with TN, but it's constantly rolling with the punches. It's constantly knowing that you have to be fluid. You have to understand that you may throw in the white flag for today or tomorrow, but next week we're going to get back out there, and we're going to try to achieve whatever goal it was that we couldn't get done today. But understanding that, hey, this isn't forever. This isn't, you know, this isn't the end of it. We just need to regroup, go back, get some rest, get into a better spot mentally, and then we can go and try to tackle this next week or tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. But you know, understanding that, you know, that's not a loss. The victory is understanding your limits and going back and knowing, hey, we can't push it any further. You know, understanding that is the victory to me. And you know, most people may look at that and say, hey, well, that's, you know, but being in TN and understanding that, and learning yourself and learning your mental capabilities and their limits is a task on itself. And it's something that a lot of people will never have to fully grasp in their life, and it's something that everybody should.
That's really well put. Um, how hard was it, or how hard is it for you to watch me um, break down?
It's probably the most difficult part of the TN journey that we've been on so far. You know that we're both very goal oriented people. We set goals, we achieve those goals. You know, there's always bumps in the road. There's always things like that. We're prepared for that. We're very determined people, so you can, you know, throw up walls. We're going to figure out a way around those. TN does a very good job of making you, you know, get to your bitter end and understand that, you know, there's you've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at it, and it's still winning. And having to look at you and knowing there's no more heated blankets I can get you. You've already taken a bath. You've already, you know, taken a nap. We've done literally everything that you possibly can to try to get yourself in a better state physically and mentally, and it's just not happening. And there's no more helpless feeling. We've discussed this before, that, you know, my caregiver's guilt doesn't even want to tell you that it's helpless. I don't feel like there's anything I can do. You know, if you have a cold, we get you Dayquil, NyQuil. You know, there's always something that we can do to make you try to feel better. And just that helpless feeling of watching my best friend and not being able to help her is the worst.
I, firsthand because we've gone through this. He's just grabbing the dog real quick. um, you know, hearing Michael talk about all this, it makes it seem I think he's holding back a little bit because I'm here and because he doesn't want to, let my dirty laundry air, so to speak. But we've had some really hard days. I've put you through some really hard days. I've put you in some really hard situations where you didn't know what to do. Um, do you want to talk about some of those hard days so people can hear that it's normal?
Well, yeah, it's hard for me to even talk about these things because, not having gone through them myself, even witnessing them is a completely different thing than not actually going through them on your own and experiencing what it's like, seeing you want to give up. Admittedly, it's not wrong. You've done every possible thing that you can, and you've got to that bitter end where it's just like you feel bad for me and say, I don't want to do this to you anymore. I don't want to put you through the grief and the hell that this condition is. Your guilt towards me, it's just unconscionable the lengths that this condition can take your mental, the fragile mental state that somebody already is in normally, and push it to the end where you want to take your own life to save everybody the heartache around you, including yourself. That's the most difficult, and you can't help but relate to the person because there's not a lot of options to make the person feel better, get them into a better mental state. um, it's yeah, there's not a lot of words. It's hard for me to even put into words what those days are like, but it definitely makes me cherish the good days even that much more.
Alma's saying that she relates, and Julie's saying that she understands too. Julie's saying that it's ugly behind the mask I show the world. She's angry and exhausted. Um, so, there are hard days and dark days, and how do we get through them?
um, I think that we found our ways leaning on one another, and if you're having a bad day, I'm always there to lift your spirits, keep your spirits in a great spot. Um, you know, talk out whatever. Again, a lot of our issues, if we just sit there and talk about them, just like most people, if you just sit there and talk about these issues that we have, we can come to resolutions and try to find options that are going to work for both caregiver and TN sufferer, that are long-term solutions, or just solutions for today that if we just talk about them, they aren't as scary and as bad as they may seem, and we can just figure it out. And even Jessica tells me often, just knowing about this anxiety that I have, I feel better about it. So just their open communication, trust, understanding that Jessica, lack of a better word, will snap, say a comment that I know that she normally would never say, but she's hungry, she's fatigued, she's been up all day, she's had a long day, whatever. It's understanding that those are not personal attacks, understanding that she's doing the best that she can, and it has nothing to do with you personally. That you just have to understand where that person's trying to come from and understand that they're doing the best that they can, basically.
So that's really good advice for caregivers. What other advice do you have for caregivers?
I guess the best advice would just understanding that there isn't a one size all fits for TN. Even the person that you're caregiving for, something might work today that's not going to work tomorrow. Always be able to have that fluid plan you can't get too down as far as, you know, Jessica feeds off my energy directly. If, you know, if I'm, hey, this isn't a big deal, blah, 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 she feeds off that directly. We're going to move on, and we're not going to allow ourselves to be upset with what TN may or may not have taken from us. And, you know, it's always easy, you know, to talk about these things, and, you know, we're still learning every day. We got into an argument yesterday, and it's just, we're both, you know, trying to figure out this with on the job training, and it's not easy. You know, just understanding that, yeah, if you've done your best, you can go to sleep at night knowing that you've done all you can for somebody that really, really cares about you.
I love that you shared that we got in an argument yesterday and that it's always changing. Something that worked the day before yesterday obviously didn't work yesterday, or I'm more tired than the day before, or I didn't eat, or I'm in more pain, or whatever the case may be. It's always a fluid situation that's changing.
Yep.
And it takes a lot of willpower from you.
Yep. And again, you know, some days you're up at 8, some days, you know, you stay sleeping till 10, you know, and we constantly have to adjust our flow of the day. And, you know, we can be frustrated with that, or we can embrace the challenge and understand that, you know, a lot of these lessons that I'm learning through TN and caregiving and being, you know, here for you and doing all that, they're great life lessons that help you professionally, help you in your relationships with other people, help you in your relationship with the person that you're providing care for. These are life lessons that will help you, you know, accomplish and, you know, something out in the world, you know, some guy cutting you off in traffic. It really doesn't seem like that big of a deal when, you know, you've overcome all this at home. You've got, you know, it's a lot easier to let things go, I've found personally, by just, you know, implementing all of these things in my personal life as well.
I think that's a great point to make, that these lessons help us be better people, whether you have TN or whether you don't. I want to go back and touch on something that you talked about, that we've had to figure out communication beyond anything that we had before. I have to sit there and tell you when I'm having anxiety, when I'm having those first thoughts right away, so that they don't sit there and fester, and then I snap. Well, I mean, I still snap, but, you know, it helps it. I want to go back and read some of these comments. Alma said that sometimes she wishes she was dead so her husband and her kids can have a better life. It sucks, and she's glad that we have amazing husbands that support and hold our hands through this. That just touches on all that survivor's guilt that you talked about. Julie said, a supportive and kind partner in this life means so much. Erin said, having someone to help frame things is so important. And that goes back to you saying that I feed right off of your energy. You know, when something little happens, such as someone cutting us off, you know, if you don't react, then I'm not going to react.
Yep.
If you react, then I will react. So it's the give and take. Laura said that she snaps sometimes too.
Well, and guess what? I don't have TN, and I snap all the time. And that's, you know, something that I tell Jessica all the time. You know, she's very critical of herself, and, oh, I forgot this, I forgot that. It's because of the TN. And then I constantly make mistakes throughout my life. And I sit there and, hey, Jessica, look, I did the same thing you did yesterday. You're a human being. Stop being so hard on yourself. I don't even have TN, and I'm still making these same mistakes that you do. You're doing the best that you can. You got to be your own hype man instead of being so critical. Obviously, you know, it's easier said than done, and I'm very critical of myself as well. But, you know, I've found that just reminding her, hey, look at this silly little mistake I made. This is just part of being a human being, not necessarily, you know, the TN that's, you know, controlling your life, or, you know, you have no control over your day-to-day activities and all of that.
So it's all those little things that you do that help me throughout the day and help me feel better. Erin said it's hard for caregivers sometimes because they can't fix this. They can support us, but they can't take it away.
100%. Yeah. But I want nothing more than there to be a fix. So we just do this and it's done. And it's frustrating beyond belief that there isn't that one thing that we can go do and fix this and end it once and for all.
Laura said this disease and pain is so complex and unpredictable, new things all the time. Love that you stay fluid, figuring support out one day at a time.
100%. Yeah, it's you know, something that, again, it's hard to put into words, but like she said, you have to learn your lessons from today and start fresh again tomorrow. And with those lessons you learned yesterday, but not expecting everything that worked yesterday to work today. So
that goes right into Victoria's comment of the fluidity is so important for caregivers. I feel if they expect the person in pain to be the same day after day, it's really not going to create a supportive relationship. Erin said that we are very good at being hard on ourselves. Her and I have been talking a lot about that, so I hope she took that message you just said to heart. Tyler said that he hates having to say that he's in pain because he prefers to shield the family from it. He's learning that the communication from me is healthier for them than holding it back.
Yep. And knowing Jessica's pain levels is great for me because, you know, I can kind of customize the day. You know, I know a lot of her triggers. We're figuring out new triggers every day, but I know a lot of them, and I can deter those from happening just by, hey, you know, she's in an elevated amount of pain. Let's not even go here. Let's not do this. Let's not talk to that person because I've seen this happen a million times, and we're just going to avoid that altogether because that's not a great, you know, use of our time when you're in an elevated amount of pain.
So do you have any advice for us TN warriors? What can we do to support caregivers? What can we do to make it easier for you?
Well, what I've found with our relationship, and I've told you this before, is that the more you take care of yourself, the more selfish you are, the easier my job becomes. The more that you can take care of those little things, you can take your own temperature, so to speak, and go, hey, you know, I am getting into a little bit more pain. I need to nip this in the bud, or, you know, take those appropriate actions, and that action just may be telling me, hey, my pain is increasing. And, you know, all of those little things that you can do, and just kind of, you know, take care of on your own. And that's going to prevent you from taking care of your family. That's going to prevent you from taking care of your husband or wife or dog or whatever. You have to put yourself first. But the second that you do that, that frees your caregiver up to still give you the care that you need, but take care of the other little things that are being neglected because you are just solely taking care of yourself. And, you know, the more a TN warrior puts themselves first, honestly first, and a person like Jessica has a really difficult time with this because she is so thoughtful, caring. Everything that she does in a day has thoughts of how is this going to affect other people. And it's been, you know, she still struggles with this today that, hey, I need to not think about other people right now, and I need to think about myself. So yeah, she went and created a 5K foundation. That was she took that to heart. But yeah, the more you take care of yourself and, you know, give the ability for your caregiver to, you know, because this is some of the best advice that I've gotten as well. You need to, as a caregiver, understand your limits, understand you need time for yourself, the more time you take for yourself, the better caregiver you become, and the more you can focus on providing care and being fluid and coming up with creative ideas to help this person in your life, empower them. Yeah, I'm not even a huge fan of the word caregiver. You know, I do think there's a negative connotation. I don't think there should be, but there, in my eyes, there is. You know, I just try to empower Jessica every day, and that's not by any means doing everything for her. No, that's just getting and helping her get into the right position for her to have the best chance to succeed every day. I know that's, yeah, just really easy to do, but you know, again, it's one of those things that I don't want to do everything for Jessica. And the second that I do, Jessica does feel like she's disabled, does feel like she can't do anything for herself. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. TN warriors are some of the strongest people that I've ever met in my life. They're SEAL Team 6. They're so mentally and physically strong. It's incredible. So, you know, that all of that goes into it. But, you know, it's just my hat goes off to every single person that battles this, because it's not easy. It's beyond, you know, anything that, you know, anybody should have to go through on a daily basis. And it's just, you know, tribute to you guys that you guys do it day after day and are here providing support to everybody else around you and creating a community, you know, connecting people around the world. It's just an inspiration for somebody like me that doesn't have TN. It's just watching everything that goes on. You know, it really makes me be thankful for, one, not waking up in pain, and two, just being able to be involved with such dedicated and motivated and strong people. Being around people like that makes you stronger, makes you more dedicated, makes you want to be better for yourself. And, you know, surrounding yourself with good people, even in this community, it's online, it's empowering. That's all I would ever want to do is just empower Jessica to go out there and, you know, do everything that she ever wanted to do, and TN will be an afterthought.
God, I told him not to make me cry before this, and he's getting pretty close. So I hope, I hope he's really speaking to you guys like he's speaking to me. Teresa said that you're making some really good points, that she knows her family wants to help, but sometimes it makes her feel disabled.
Yeah. It's, you know, one of those things, there's a real fine line. Like, you know, she wants to go get that glass of water. She went and got her hair cut the other day, and, you know, I'm offering to drive her, but, you know, hey, no, I want to go and drive myself. You know, I want to do this, and it's something important, and, you know, something that, you know, we got her a good breakfast and got her into the best mental space before all of that, and did everything we could to make, you know, prepare her to succeed. She went out and did it just like she normally would have before TN, got her haircut, came home. It was nothing. And, you know, she's been empowered to go out and do that. And the fear or stigma of her, you know, having to drive somewhere is eliminated, because, you know, we've done, you know, all these little things, but at the end of the day, it was Jessica's strength and resilience that, you know, shined through and got her to do whatever she really needed to do. It was just, we had to, you know, kind of help her, remind her that she was still capable of all that.
Exactly. And it's a lot on me that I have to accept that I am disabled in the sense that I have to be aware of what I'm doing, but I'm not disabled in the sense that I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can do things, but I have to be smart about them and not use too many spoons in one day, so to speak. And sharing with you how many spoons I have, or saying, you know, hey, I really want to go on the dog walk with you. I don't really have any more spoons, but can we make it work? Can we just do a short walk, or can we? And sometimes it's you saying, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yep. And, you know, I know that I had a conversation with you the other morning. You were about to go live with Kenzie, and I told you, you know, I don't think that's a great idea. you're already in a worn down state. She had a very busy day before, just met her best friend's baby, had this exciting day and was out on the town. But again, it wore her down. And, I felt it best to, make the suggestion that, hey, maybe just don't go live today. All your TN warriors are going to completely understand and advocate for you to take time for yourself. So, just reminding her that, hey, the best thing you can do for yourself right now is to take a break. You don't even really have to do anything. You're just there to provide a different way of thinking, a different perspective that maybe is a little biased towards them taking it easy and, erring on the side of caution. But, that's what you got to do sometimes. And sometimes Jessica says, you know what, I really appreciate your opinion, and this is why I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, and I accept the consequences, and, this, that, and the other. But we, can have that dialogue back and forth and understand when to take a chance and when not to.
And it was hard for you to tell me to not go live with Kinsey on Thursday. You felt bad. You felt like, you were pressuring me into making that decision. But I told you at that time that I needed you to say that. I needed my caregiver, so to speak, the angel on my shoulders, so to speak, to tell me it's okay to rest. This morning we were talking about it in the comments on the meme I just posted, that we feel guilty as warriors, making that decision because we don't want to. I see the dirty dishes. I don't want to sit on the couch because I know that you're going to have to do it. I know that you want to work out. I know that the dog needs a walk. And I know that if I just get up and unpack the dishwashers or the dishes for 10 minutes, it's going to help you a lot. But also realizing that just doing that 10 minutes could set me over the edge, and, we could get in a fight because I snap at you, and, it snowballs after that.
Yep. There's no better way to put it, and understanding that, it's a, like you said, it's a snowball effect. You just go to do those dishes. Well, you've, used a precious amount of energy that you were on the couch for a reason. It wasn't because you're up, running around the house doing a bunch of things. You were fatigued, you were in pain, you were hungry, maybe all three, all of these things. And, understanding that, that precious amount of energy that you use there, is just going to deteriorate your state even more and lead to negative outcomes. And, I don't even like the connotation of the fact that, oh, you snapped and, this and that. And like I said, I am guilty just as much, if not more, for any of the arguments that we've been in regarded to TN after you've been diagnosed with TN. It's a whole learning curve for me, and understanding, when and how to even approach having conversations about subjects that can be controversial, knowing that, I can understand how I feel when I'm hungry and tired, and going and talking about articulated things, in that state isn't great. We can go and have breakfast and have our coffee or whatever, and then after the facts reapproach this, and once we're both in a better frame of mind. But even for me, it's, I completely try to put myself in the shoes of what you're going through, the lenses that you're seeing the world in, and trying to customize and put myself in your shoes to be, hey, I've completely overreacted in what I've been. And not to say that would be an overreaction, but just trying to understand where someone's coming from in a state of pain that I can't understand. So it's really hard, and that's what makes it so difficult. And it's an everyday struggle for caregivers, for people that just even our friends or family that are trying to figure out how to support us. It's very difficult.
You put it so well. Yeah. I'm going to go through the comments here. Laura said, thanks for seeing our strength. Julie's husband appreciates your honesty. Teresa said, independence is so important. Tyler said, thanks for the kind words, Michael. Not everyone sees it that way. Some are just annoyed. Speaking of which, how has TN affected your friendships?
If you're speaking as far as friendships, not including Jessica and I, it's been negative. Trying to have someone understand about a chronic pain condition that hasn't ever even had because this is understandably, it's something very difficult to understand. And like I was saying before, trying to figure out how to support somebody is difficult. I would love to say that everybody's been very supportive and I've got an army of people willing to do whatever, whenever, however, but that's just not the case, and it's disappointing. But what Jessica and I choose to reflect on is the people that do support us, and we've got a list of people. Jessica's made some lifelong friends. I already know that she's met some incredible people online and through the community of TN warriors and everything. It's that's what I choose to try to focus on, instead of the failures of people, my perceived failures that of them not providing what I need. But like I said, it's difficult, and I would definitely say we've gained more friends than we are having support from. So if that helps.
I agree. We have met some truly incredible warriors that lift us up and make us be better people every day, like you said.
Yep.
Laura said Jessica is resilient. She's too kind. Julie said we have to appreciate our victories, just like taking a shower. She also said the spoon theory is so good. Tyler said, yep, listen to Michael. Alma said, listen to Michael, easier said than done. Julie said, we're definitely supportive when you need to rest. We understand. She definitely snaps and yells. Her husband does get it and takes care of her. She lives for the weekend just so he's off when she can relax.
Amen. Yep.
Alma said she snaps at her kids and her husband and lives for the weekend.
I see a comment, and I wanted to point it out because I do like what it says. Our inner circle got a lot smaller but stronger, and I really like that because again, it's quality over quantity. You can have 100 friends that are so, or you could have 5 friends that are gonna go to bat to you no matter what's going on. So like you said, smaller but a lot stronger. There's no leaks there. It's been pressure tested. These people are good to go and are going to have your back no matter what. I would rather have one friend like that, and I do. I've got my best friend I have for life. So, it's, just having one person like that is a blessing in my eyes.
I completely agree. Like you said, just quality over quantity is so important. And having people that are going to be there for you and not pity you, not make you explain things, not make you feel bad about canceling at the last minute or leaving randomly because now I'm suddenly in pain. Those friendships mean more than anything we could ever express. We are wrapping up here. We have 10 minutes left. What's the hardest part about being a caregiver?
helpless feeling, you know, knowing at a certain point that you've given everything that you possibly can. And like I said, not to say it's not good enough, but we don't have the available tools to get the desired effect that we'd like. And that is a pain-free, you know, I've often talked with Jessica and, you know, we'll sit down and quote unquote relax on the couch, watch a movie, you know, and I just sit there and feel horrible because I know for a fact that Jessica isn't relaxing. She's in an elevated pain stage. She's sweating because she's in so much pain. She's contemplating things in her head. It's hard for her to concentrate on the movie, and she's hungry but doesn't want to eat because, you know, that's going to make her more pain. And, you know, it's just hard for me not to sit there and feel guilty about me being able to enjoy something. And, you know, it's hard. And I saying that to a TN warrior makes me feel pathetic, but it's hard. And wanting to just take the pain away, I've been in tears with Jessica, telling her, you know, I would do anything to take this pain away. I would literally do and go anywhere to take this pain away, and it's just not good enough. And knowing that is hard. Knowing that is really hard. It's not good enough for me. I don't accept that. And either does Jessica, but her answer to that was, hey, I'm gonna go create a 5K to create awareness for TN. That's what she did, and that's what she's doing. She's doing a kick-ass job. She deserves more recognition for what she's doing. Her time will come as far as recognition, but I know everybody on this live knows what she does and appreciates her for doing what she does. And, you know, she really is truly an inspiration. Just like all the TN warriors, all of you out here trying to make a difference, even if you're not, even if you're just in bed, just trying to make it tomorrow, you're doing a phenomenal job. I have so much respect for everything that you guys go through, and I can't say enough. There's no words for the amount of respect that I have for Jessica and people like her.
There you go, almost making me cry again. Michael just really has showed me the true meaning of family through all of this. I'm going to try not to cry. He has put in long hours researching and trying to figure this thing out. He spends so much time, I'm starting to cry now. He just puts in so much effort, and it doesn't go unnoticed. It's just incredible what he does and how he lifts me up.
But Jessica, you have to understand that you do that same thing for me, if not more, every day. And for so many people in this community, they do that in turn for other people. You're creating so much good energy and good vibes, and, you know, you're creating such a passionate, you know, awareness community that this thing doesn't stand a chance. Like, it's gonna be cured because of people like yourself. Like, again, like everything you just said about inspire, like, again, tenfold to me every day that you get out of bed. It's a truly an inspiration. It's beyond words can even describe how amazing it is that you and people like you do what you do every day. No choice.
You're giving me chills because I know that we're going to find a cure because of this community and because of caregivers like you and because of the strength that us warriors have. All of us are going to get this figured out together because we're in this together, and nobody has to be alone in this anymore. You've said that so many times before, that getting the word out there and having people know it's normal to argue with your husband, to snap at your husband. It's normal to go through these long, hard nights crying together where you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on and how to figure it out and how to just make it through to tomorrow.
Yeah, it's, you know, there's not much more that can be said that, you know, hasn't been said, that, you know, if I can play even the smallest piece of finding a cure, I will continue doing what I do till the day I die, just so that I can, provide some sort of semblance of, I would love to get you and every one of the warriors their life back. Get somebody like Miranda, give her a fresh start where she could actually have an adult life that's normal, or, resemble something normal, with the cure for TN. I would love to have that.
Oh, you're so sweet. I hope that this gives people inspiration and hope that we're going to find a cure together, that you can get through the tough times. You can make your relationship work. If you want to put in the hard work and the effort, it's worth it. I promise you. Victoria's saying, what I do to lift others up and spread positivity and awareness is beyond anything she's ever expected. She used to follow other TN groups and had to stop because it wasn't uplifting. I feel the same way, Victoria. That's part of the reason why I created this, because I needed to be uplifted. I was sick of those, sad, depressing Facebook groups. And Michael reminds me every day that it's just a bad day. It's not a bad life. It's going to get better. There's hope. We have people in our lives. I have Michael here every single day that's here fighting and going to make my life better. We're just going to wrap up here. So thank you, Michael, so much for spending your time and your honesty with us. I'm going to throw this out there. I'm sure you're okay with it. But if there are any caregivers that want to reach out to Michael, this is your invitation. Reach out to him, ask him for help, ask him for support. He's kind of shy in the sense that he's not going to reach out to you himself. So go ahead and reach out to him and he'll get the conversation going. But he's open to help and provide his support. Just remember, these are things that have worked for Michael and I. And just because it works for us, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Anything else you want to touch on, babe?
Yeah, just that I'm in awe of all you guys, and what you guys do. Somebody mentioned before, in a comment that just going an accomplishment, and that is like it's huge. We finally found a meal Jessica could eat and clean her plate the other day, and it was such a huge victory for both of us. And finding those victories throughout the day, reflecting on those victories, and trying to reflect on the defeats as well, so that we can make our lives easier. It's there's so much good to be had. We got to focus on that and focus less on the negatives of TN, and try to just focus on all the positive that it's brought to our lives.
I love that. That's so beautiful, Michael. Thank you again for being so open and vulnerable with us and sharing your energy with us.
Much love, you guys.
Love you guys. Stay strong.